So guys, I'll try and keep this quick because it's a long video. Now this is an article this morning I read and it annoyed me. I'm going to upset a small minority of people for the wrong reasons, but everybody should be upset about what's in this for the right reasons, and you'll see what I mean if you watch the video. Anyway, I'll get on with it. It's nice to be nice.
So guys, here's an example. This annoyed me slightly. I read this morning and I thought I'd do a video. But this is the insanity that's going on around the world in various places. A mother 38 is arrested in front of her 2 children and locked in a cell for 7 hours, right? After calling a transgender woman a man on Twitter. Now, they've come and arrested her. They've took a mobile phone and a laptop off her. This is like over 2 months ago. She hasn't got a laptop or a mobile phone back because the police are still investigating a heinous crime. All right. But what happened is they came to her house, 3 police officers. I'll go through this slow so you can read it. But 3 police officers came to her house and arrested her in front of her 2 children, a 10-year-old autistic daughter and a 20-month-old child that she was breastfeeding at the time. All right. Not when they arrived, probably, but the child, she was breastfeeding the child, not bottle fed. But they still took her away, locked her up for 7 hours. Like I said, she needs this computer in here. Oh, well, let's have a look here. 38-year-old from Hitchin, Herefordshire, had her photograph, DNA and fingerprints taken and remains under investigation. So, more than 2 months after arresting December the 1st, she has neither her mobile phone or her laptop returned, which she says is hampering her studies for Masters in Forensic Psychology. So, it's affecting her study and possibly a further in her career. Now, the police always say they've haven't got time to investigate crimes. I'm going to show you lots and lots of, well, not lots and lots, but 3 or 4 examples after this if you want to watch through it, if it interests you. I appreciate it if you do, because it'll give you some idea about what's happening and what they call crime and what they don't call crime nowadays. Now, this is the offended party. Stephanie Hayden. It also states that she is an activist. Now, when you call yourself an activist, then I've seen activists, a lot of them dressed in black, causing problems, smashing windows, among other things. Now, again, I go back to this. Why have police got time to send 3 police officers to arrest a woman for something she said on the internet? Some heinous crime like that when they can't investigate burglaries, assaults, and other crimes that are real crimes. Now, as an activist, I'm sure she had something to say. We'll use the she word. I'm in Switzerland, so you can't come and get me. But I'm sure she wasn't a completely neutral party, and I'm sure she wasn't all nice and sweet during any sort of communication with the other lady. So I just can't get over it. I'm really, really, amazed, because the police are actually encouraging people to report non-crimes now, non-hate crimes, potential hate crimes. And as I said, what about the guy who retweeted a poem? He didn't even write the poem, he retweeted it. And the police rung him up and told him off and said they wanted to know what he was thinking. Now that brings an all new meaning, doesn't it, to the thought police? So, here's an example. Now, this is from 2017, right? Now, Top Cop's decision to stop probing thousands of crimes in a bid to save 400 million has been branded as Crook's Charter. Now, this is 2017, remember? Things haven't got better. So, thousands of crimes will no longer be probed by the police force. burglaries, thefts, and some assaults will be ignored unless the victims report and identifies a suspect. So basically, you've got to do their job for them. Now, obviously, the previous lady who's been arrested, because easy identifiable, isn't she? I mean, God forbid police actually do any police work and investigate a crime. Now, I understand they've had cuts, but I don't know, an assault, what's a minor assault? You get punched in the face, so that's okay. Burglaries should only be probed if the culprits have used violence or tricked their way in. Now, I don't know if any of you have been burgled. I haven't, fortunately, but I know people who have, and it's devastating for them. That somebody's been in their house, they don't feel safe. That is a scary thing. I couldn't imagine what it'd be like if somebody burgled my house, and yeah, I don't know how I'd feel about that. But that don't need to be probed. That's a non-crime. But calling a transgender woman a man is a crime. And we can get 3 police officers to send at that time. Crimes involving less than £50. Yeah, okay. Depends what the crime is again, doesn't it? Or if somebody's punched you in the face and stole your wallet, you got 20 quid in it. Is that a non-crime? It's a minor assault, isn't it? Grievous bodily harm or car crime. Grievous bodily harm, it says it in itself, isn't it? It's grievous bodily harm. Yeah? But they don't need to probe that unless there's an identifiable suspect. So you've got to do their work for them to do it. And CCTV should only be analysed if the crime occurs in a 20-minute time frame and sharp images are showing. Now, how long does it take the police to get? If they come, you've been burgled, you've got CCTV, they take 2 weeks to turn up and you've got CCTV, but they're not going to look at it because it was 2 weeks ago, not 20 minutes ago. Now, this is a problem with the country that's happening now. Now, whether you call it whichever government you look at, whether it's the Tories or the Socialist Labour or whatever, the problem is it's not the police that are on the ground, it's the people that are controlling the police. Now, I don't know whether that is governmental or whether that's down to their own agenda. I mean, obviously Sheffield, we've got the rainbow police in Sheffield now. They put rainbows on the cars, which it's all right. I agree. Everybody should have a right to be what they want and do what they want to an extent. Yeah, look, this is how police crime assess crime. Is the victim willing to prosecute? Yes. 2. As the suspect positively ID'd? No. Move to next question. Crime value. Is the estimated loss more than 50? No. Don't investigate. Right? This is apparently their system. Is a crime scene covered by a camera? No. Don't investigate. Yes. Is the offence covered in less than 20 minutes footage? Yes. Is it a sharp image? No. Don't investigate. Yes. Let's go for yes. Is the CCTV clip ready to be picked up immediately? Yes. Is the suspect immediately identifiable from evidence? No. So, you've got a clear picture of a guy doing whatever, right? But you can't identify him yourself as the victim, and the police obviously can't because they don't know him. So they don't investigate it. Or they do if you go, oh yeah, it's my next door neighbour. Who'd have thunk? I'll give an example here. I went to UK last year, and I went to see an old friend of mine. And he's got CCTV. He does cars. He's got a couple of motorbikes and stuff like that. He works on cars, and he's got CCTV in front of his house. And some guy got shot with a shotgun in the knees, right, in front of his house. It's a really bad picture. Police did come and take that because obviously it's a firearm offence, but it's unreal that what you've got to do their jobs. I'll try and find another example, maybe a better one, but that one's quite a good one, isn't it? That gives you the actual The lowdown. So, guys, here's another example. Revealed police are quietly shelving 1 million cases a year, even when they have already identified a suspect. 40% of violent and sex cases are dropped despite having a suspect. Right? But yet, they're saying it's due to resources. But yet, they can send 3 police to arrest a woman for calling a woman a man. A transsexual woman a man. I'm dumbfounded. I mean, this article's 2018, so that's quite up to date. That's up to date, isn't it? But they're talking about shrinking budget and staff cuts and all this lot. But yet they can send 3 police officers to investigate a crime like that. But yet sex crimes and assault crimes are shelved, even though they know who's done it. Dwindling resources, victims unwilling to testify. That's one thing, but there were a victim unwilling to testify is very, very even more scary due to the fact that they're probably under duress from a criminal who's threatened to kill them or whatever for not testifying. So police should be on them like a ton of bricks. In reality, you see so many cases of women. Just a few weeks ago, a young girl caught police on a boyfriend, and he ended up killing her. Police, well, in my eyes, they're supposed to stop crime, not like and identify the criminal after the fact that the person is dead. You know. Again, you can always say it's due to cuts, and yes, they do need more money, but where do they put the money? I'll let you read this through if you want to read it through. But they're abandoning cases, you know. They don't turn up for days. I've got just one more example I'm going to show you of actually how many crimes that they sift out of what they're going to investigate as well. And that's from 2016. I'm sure it's probably worse now. But it's ridiculous. It's absolutely ridiculous. They're not doing their job. Again, okay. If it's due to cuts, then they've got to prioritise on serious crime, haven't they? But I think burglary is quite serious. It's certainly more serious than somebody getting hurt feelings about being called a man. They're the crimes they didn't investigate for whatever reason. Yeah. So out of 2 million crimes, 700,000, nearly 800,000 they didn't. But this is the percentages and what crimes. Now I'll just very quickly go through this. Vehicle offences. They didn't investigate 65% of them. Unless, of course, it was speeding, then they can fine you, can't they? And that's a cash cow. Other accepted crimes. Now, what is an accepted crime? A crime to me is a crime. So therefore, if it's a non-crime, it shouldn't be a crime. You get me drift? 50%. Burglary. They don't investigate 50% of burglaries. That's a lot, isn't it? You know. Arson and criminal damage. Now, arson used to be a hangable offence at one time, but it was also life imprisonment. But 46% of them crimes, they don't investigate. Theft, 35%. Public order offences, 13%. They don't investigate. So a public order offence, what's that? Peeing in the street. You'll get nicked for that. Robbery, 11%. They don't investigate. Which again, under 50. Violence against a person. Are these come into the same category? You've been punched in the face, your wallet's been stolen, it's got less than £50 in, you don't know it, guy, so we're not going to investigate it. You can't identify him, just some random robber in the street, which, you know, we really need. Miscellaneous crimes against society. They investigate a lot of them, don't they? 90% they actually investigate, but what is a miscellaneous crime against society? There's no context, is there, on any of these? Possession of weapons, good. They investigate most of them. But on the other side of it, that includes the guy who's got his Swiss Army knife in his pocket. And I know there's a huge knife crime problem in UK, but it's not because of knives. Right? I could do another video about Switzerland on knives and guns. If anybody's interested in that, I'll do it. Alright. But possession of weapons, that could be anything, couldn't it? Sexual offences, 2% they don't investigate. But drug offences, 99% they do investigate. So they actually investigate more drug offences than they do sex offences. Now, yes, big drug dealers, or drug dealers in general, should be shut down. But I'm sure a lot of percentage of that is some guy smoking a spliff. You know what I mean? And obviously they can't tax it, so therefore you will be prosecuted. But that sort of tells you a story, doesn't it? Anyway, I'll leave you to it.
Excuse me, it's ma'am. It is ma'am.